guys, for those that don't know me, I'm Abigail. For those that do know me, hey, welcome back. So one of the things I've had a bit of trouble with this whole starting the YouTube channel and sharing about what I do is that I want to throw so much information. I want to do the Celtic cross. There's a basic Celtic cross for people starting out, and it gets more advanced. With less confirmation cards. So there's three different types of Celtic cross reading, and I get so passionate about it. But I had to rein myself in, and I want to go over the guidelines that I personally follow. Now, there's always exceptions to the rule, always. Um, so the guidelines are more something to discuss and debate and talk about and think about rather than to take it as gospel. It's not gospel. There is no line of professional ethics that are actually set out for people that do tarot reading. Um, with tarot reading, it's slightly different to healing, because with healing, what you do is you put healing available to someone and they can choose whether they take it or not. So you don't need permission in the same way that you do when you're doing a tarot reading. So I just want to go through this book that I wrote many, many years ago. So I just want to go through this a little bit with you. So tarot allows us, through symbolisms and intuition, a greater insight into people's lives. My suggestion is, if you're going to start this, go look up the Battle of Hastings tapestry, because that is so like tarot, because it's not individual cards, it becomes this story. So by following the tapestry, you see the story of the Battle of Hastings laid out, and that's what tarot is. They're not individual cards; they become a new story, a new book. Okay? So we do need to decide pretty much straight off, are we going to be ethical or not? You cannot be gossiping. You cannot be gossiping. If you gossip, your reputation will be ruined in 2 minutes. You're finding out information that you wouldn't otherwise know. You don't share that with someone else. It's morally wrong. Okay. So you don't read into someone's life without their permission. Now this includes siblings, it includes children over the age of 7. Now there's little bits with parents that, there's little bits way around. In the fact, you're wondering if your child's going to go to college or going to do advanced study. If it comes up as how their actions impact you. So if they are still financially dependent on you, it will come up in your card reading without crossing that line for their own privacy. Okay? Big thing. Do not use someone's belief in you for your own agenda. Many years ago, I did a reading for someone who had quite a serious drug problem, really desperately wanted to say something about it, didn't come up in the cards, didn't say it, was none of my business. Obviously, what was coming up in their life was going to change what was going on, and it ended up being a non-issue. But I could have easily made it an issue in their life if, because they believed in me, I had brought it up. So that's a big no-no. You're privy to information that's private and confidential. You're going back into somebody's past. Quite a lot of people that will come, something horrific will have happened in the past, and you don't want to be blabbing that everywhere. Just, you have to switch off which is why we do quite a lot of ritual when it comes to reading, for tuning in, turning off, switching off, moving on, so we're not carrying the stuff that we've seen in someone else's reading. Um, Reading for yourself helps you actually understand some of the facets you might not be comfortable with. We all have parts of our personality that really don't sit well with us, and this is about how to grow and how to embrace all of who we are, and but make it something positive. Okay, do not do anything to discredit other readers. There's a huge variety of readers. We're not all psychic readers. Not everyone can deal with a psychic reading. Some people just need a pat on the hand and say everything's going to be okay, and those people won't want to come to me, because I'm a sit down, hold on, here goes kind of reader. So I'm not a feel good reader, but some people actually need that, and we have to respect that that is what they need. And but our group of people that are saying they're counselling readers, got to be a little bit careful with that terminology, because it's illegal, especially in Australia, to practice as a counsellor without the right qualifications. So that's a little bit of a wavy one. It is better to say no to someone you don't want to read to, rather than just do a bad reading. You can really rely on work coming in, because if someone doesn't feel right, or you don't feel you're the right person, you have to say no, because otherwise you're giving a bad reading. You're only as good as your next reading, not your last one. So you really have to stay focused on, can I help this person? And if you can't, let them go to someone that can. There's some people that it's just the timing is wrong, and they get in touch 6 months later, the timing's right, you're like, oh, welcome, come along for a reading. But you have to be aware of that, because otherwise you're not giving your best to that client, and they're going to go away disappointed. That's going to ruin your reputation. You have to be careful that you're not projecting your morals or your belief system onto somebody else, whether it's their religious beliefs or their sexual preferences. This is their life. When you're doing a reading, it's 110% about them. If you leave that reading and you know about the reader's children, pets are different, because they're usually in and out, in the children, their financial position, and all this stuff about, then it's not been about you. It should be, the majority of what's talked about should be about you, because that is what you're paying for. Okay, and always trust yourself. Every reading you do is going to be a leap of faith. Trust yourself, believe in yourself, and jump in. And jump in. It's all you can do. And there's going to be times where you're thinking, oh my god, it's just pieces of cardboard. I've been doing this for more years than I admit to being. And there are days where I still think, they're just pieces of cardboard. And tarot is just pieces of cardboard. You could cut up cornflakes boxes and use them as tarot cards. But we use the tarot cards because it helps trigger the intuition, whether it's the colour, the shape, the number. But it's particularly for me as a psychic reader, it's about the psychic knowledge that I'm given, and the cards are for the client to be able to have a picture representation of what I've said. Okay, I hope that made some sense to you. And I'll be back next week, because I really, really want to do the Celtic Cross. I'll do the basic, and then the intermediate, and then the advanced one. So I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you for joining me. I do have the Facebook group, Perth WA Psychic Tarot, that posts daily tarot and interactive posts, and a few topical posts. It was great you joined me, and I will see you next week. Bye.